Hello, so for this tutorial we'll be creating this part over here, this coupling, figure 8.1, and on another video I will create the drawing to it. So the first part is to make the part itself, and then I will be assigning some material to it to get the mass. And just to make sure what the material is, I'm just gonna, I forgot what I assigned it as, so I'm just gonna check it out. And it is A2 stainless steel. So at the end we will assign A2 stainless steel to it. And alright, here we go. So first thing you want to do is I'm actually going to just create the outline of this object and then cut out this little center piece of it. So create a sketch, click on front plane, view the front plane, and you can start with a circle, and I'll start that in the center. Dimension that circle, hitting the D hotkey, and we have a 0.315 radius. So we're in diameter, so I gotta multiply that by 2 to get my diameter of 0.63. So now from here I am just going to create a rectangle, and the corner will be here at the quadrant of that of the circle, and then I'm going to move down, and I can dimension this. This is 0.78, and my width is going to be 0.63, and I'm going to trim out these lines. And then I'm actually going to go ahead, and so I don't have to create this and then make a cut, I'm going to create these hollowed features, so then when I extrude it, it's going to extrude around those where those holes are. So I'm going to create another circle with a radius or a diameter of 0.458, and then I'm going to create another rectangle. This time I'm going to use the center rectangle, and then I'm going to dimension this out, and that is 0.06. And then once again I'm going to use the trimming function, so the scissor, or click the key M, and then I'm going to trim out where my hole would be. So trim this, trim this, trim this, trim this, trim the bottom here, so it's an actual hole. I'm going to get rid of this guy down here too. And yeah, so we have that little rectangular channel cutting through. We have our circle, and now when we extrude this part, I'll get the solid version. And I'm extruding. Make sure I'm extruding in the correct dimension. I want this to be my front face, so I just created the front face, so make sure it extrudes backwards. and we are going to extrude that 3/4 of an inch, so 0.75, and check it off. So now we have our basic shape here. I can add a chamfer now, and I'll chamfer this edge here, and I want to have a distance and an angle. The distance is 0.02 and it's by 45 degrees, so I'm just going to change up the distance right there and check it off. Now I am going to make this portion here. So this is a little tricky. I spent some time looking at it and I couldn't figure out where the center point for this radius is in order for it to actually work. So we're going to assume that the center for this radius up here is the midpoint of the bottom edge of your part. So, because that's really the only, I've tried it here and it doesn't make sense to have the center here. It makes it much too big. I've tried a bunch of different scenarios, and that's the only one that makes the most sense, is if the radius was at this center point of the bottom edge. So we're going to do that. Click on right view. I'm going to create another sketch. Click on the face, and then you can go ahead and you can either make an arc or a circle. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to do a circle, and this center point here, move up, and remember radius it's a circle, right? So if you have a radius, you can input a circle, and you just have to remember you got to double it. So double the radius of 0.59, and you can easily just multiply it like that. And then I'm going to extrude, and this is remove, and I am removing 0.06. So 0.06. Check it off, and then I got what looks to be the correct version over here. It still does look a little higher. I was kind of beating myself up about it, but for this exercise, we're just going to assume that this is the case. It is the center point is at the edge there. And then so from this radius being cut out, we're going to move to the hole. And so I'm going to go on the right side again and create a sketch on this section here. I'm going to make a center line. So center line extends up. Dimension that to 0.25. That's our distance. And then I'm going to create a circle at that endpoint. The circle has a diameter of 0.144, and I am cutting in, so removing, and the depth given by this symbol here is 2.55, so 2.55. A little bit more than a quarter. So then it looks good. We have our cuts in place, we have our chamfer, we have the square channel going through, and we have our coupling. So coupling is used to put together pieces of pipe or hose or whatever you got. So this would most likely have a thread to it, and you would thread this portion down, and it would this would actually tighten up around the two ends of your hose or pipe. So the last thing I need to do is assign that material. Assign material, and A to stainless steel. Select, check it off, and then to get my mass property, I'm going to click on the mass property, the little scale over here, click on your part, and then the mass of it is 0.089 pounds. right? Which makes sense. It's a little coupling. It's not even an inch um, long. So it's a little coupling, so it makes sense that it is rather light. So there you have it. The first part of the multi-view coupling exercise. I will be making a drawing in the next video.